Hi, and welcome to Astro Bites for Wednesday, the 4th of September. So, the moon is now in Libra. But we're still, remember, in the energy of that new moon. That will last basically until the full moon in Pisces, which is a lunar eclipse, and that's coming up on the 18th of September. But what about the energy today? And what about our word of the day? Well, you better stick around to the end if you want to find out what that is. Let's see what's going on today, because Venus, our planet of relationship, love, self-worth, value, sometimes the economy, that is in Libra. So it's in a sign it rules, so it feels very at home here. It can really operate its abilities to bring in harmony and balance to relationships. And it's conjunct Lilith in Libra. And just let me get the chart up and I'll explain what is going on. So, the moon, interestingly, is at the 29th degree of Virgo as the day progresses, and then moves into Libra round about 4 or 5 in the afternoon, local time, Central European daylight time. Now, Venus, Lilith, and the South Node. Remember, the South Node is karmic. It's where we come from. It's the baggage we carry. It's what we bring with us into the future. What we bring whilst it's in Libra into relationships. Because often if we embark on a new relationship, especially if one is of more, say, mature years, then one has quite a lot of baggage to bring with you and to unpack. And that can be quite a challenge. Now, I say that because both Venus and the South Node in Libra, and they've got Lilith kind of sandwiched between them. Lilith and Venus are absolutely exact. Excuse me. So Lilith, if you remember, was the first wife of Adam. And so it's quite interesting to have this combination of Lilith with Venus, because Lilith in Libra, I think, brings in a little bit of guts, drama, and dynamic energy into what otherwise can be quite aesthetically beautiful relationships, but perhaps they need a little bit of energy injected into them. And of course, because they are conjunct in Libra, it means they're in opposition to the North Node in Aries. So this indicates that there is going to be communication taking place today around the relationship kind of areas of your life, and maybe asking those probing questions. Maybe people are being a little bit, or have been a little bit, superficial with you in certain relationships. This can be friendships, this can be business relationships, it can also be close one-to-one relationships. The North Node is saying, if you both want to make headway with what perhaps has been unfolding, or what perhaps has been holding you back, then the energy today of Lilith, sandwiched between Venus and the South Node, is saying, come on, for goodness sake. It's like, bang your heads together, get a move on, get it sorted. So that's the kind of energy that we have around today. And if you think about Uranus, which of course is now retrograde in the sign of Taurus, and I'll just refresh your memories about Uranus. Uranus is about the unexpected, surprise, breakthrough, and also freedom of speech. So perhaps reaching a point where you really feel it's now or never. I have to say it how it is, whatever the situation is that now or never is about. Uranus, interestingly, is trining the moon in Virgo, which is about to slip into Libra. The moon at the anaretic degree of Virgo is also trining transformational Pluto that has now gone retrograde into the sign of Capricorn, bringing you all the opportunity and opportunities to transform in your life those parts of your life that have been, holding you back, causing irritations, problems. You know, when Pluto finally goes direct in October, Pluto will start to reveal the benefits, the gifts, the prize, if you like, of having worked with this very challenging, difficult energy in the sign of Capricorn. And of course, Pluto at the moment is also sextiling Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Neptune, remember, is about not always seeing things clearly, but it can also be manifestation. It can be our psychic abilities. As this is a trine, this is giving you insight. You are being able to be insightful about situations in your life that are going to unexpectedly unfold and perhaps bring you something you never thought could possibly unfold. So that's the major energy, apart from, before I go on to our word of the day, our planet Mars that rules Aries, our planet of energy, action, assertion, our god of war, our god of argument sometimes, moves into the sign of Cancer today. So it's been in Gemini. It had that big conjunction with Jupiter, creating all sorts of mayhem. Mars is still squaring Neptune, bringing up all manner of kinds of discussions and talks about things that have been kept secret and having them being revealed, because Mars is just saying enough is enough. These things have to be out in the open. It's like putting your cards on the table. Now, Mars is actually going to spend a long time in Cancer because it goes later this year. It has one of its retrograde phases. And it will be in Leo when that happens, and then it will retrograde back into Cancer. So it's actually going to be spending a lot of time in Cancer. But let me just briefly brief you on Mars in Cancer. Cancer is about nurturing and the home. It's about care. It's about taking care of yourself. Mars can be the body, and maybe also it can represent your health, especially because the sun is in Virgo at the moment, which represents health. And the sun rules Leo, and Mars is going to go into Leo after its journey through Cancer. Whilst it's in Cancer, it's about taking care of you. Maybe you have been spending too much time focusing on the others, what they are doing, how they are, how they are taking care of themselves. Sometimes we really have to put ourselves first. It doesn't mean at the expense of another feeling lost, abandoned, left out. It just means that, as they say, you can't fill from an empty pot. So whilst Mars moves through the sign of Cancer, it's a really good time to make sure you start filling up your teapot, coffee pot, kettle with good, nourishing liquid. Cancer, it's a water sign. Cancer is cardinal. It's about being proactive. Okay, let's move on to our word of the day. And it's quite interesting because, you know, it's quite difficult to think of a word for every single day. And if I'm going to be doing these for 365 or 366 days of a year, there's going to be repetition. There's going to be words that mean similar to words we've had before. But what I'm doing is trusting that the word that comes up for me, the word that I choose, resonates and is what is needed by all of you. So the word for today is purpose. What is your purpose? This is a bit like what is your passion, but what is your purpose? Do you have a purpose when you wake up in the morning? Is it easy to get started? Is it easy to start the day? Is it easy to get out of bed and go and shower? And as that Mars in Cancer suggests, take care of yourself. And, you know, purpose is like passion, so I use that word a lot, as you know. Passion to me has a little bit more fire and feeling, whereas purpose is perhaps more like the sun in Virgo, a little bit more ordered and structured. But have a think today about your purpose throughout the day. Because when we have a purpose, it makes it easier actually to stay in the present. Because one of the problems we all have is going back into the past, thinking about what happened yesterday, or going into the future and worrying about what could happen. So if you find yourself getting into the what ifs or the what did that mean, then it's so important to think, hang on a minute, what is my purpose today? Maybe your purpose is to be still, to meditate, to just nurture yourself. Maybe your purpose is, whilst the sun is in Virgo, clear out some cupboards and clutter. Maybe your purpose is to go and cheer someone up, a neighbour, a family member, a friend. Do a face-to-face video call with someone who you haven't spoken to for a while. That can be a really good use of purpose. And as I started doing, I have, of course, found one or two quotes for our word for the day. This one is from Buddha, and it's your purpose in life is to find your purpose and give your whole heart and soul to it. So you can exchange the word purpose for passion. And maybe say your purpose in life is to find your passion and then give your whole heart and soul to it. And then Pablo Picasso said, the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. So I could go on. There are many more quotes. You can always Google quotes and find one that seems to resonate for you. Let's maybe just start or finish with one more, which is by Friedrich Nietzsche. So very superior philosophy here. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Interesting. These quotes emphasize the importance of finding and living with purpose, and I'm going to add in passion, guiding your actions and giving meaning to your life. And on that note, I'll say thank you so much for joining me for today's Astro Bite. And please remember to like, comment and subscribe. And if you haven't seen Sunday's live stream for the month ahead of September, check that out. It's on my channel. It's on the homepage. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow with yet another Astro Bite. Bye for now.